Thank you. For the recording's sake, excuse me. A great evening to the gracious gathering. I would heartily welcome our guest today, Mrs. Priya Saggi, and all our wonderful guests today to the meeting. And before we talk directly to Priya, I would like to say a few words about her. She's beautiful, that you look at her, you know. She's very intelligent, that you talk to her, you know. But there is something that you will only know if you are her friend, if you are her in her close circles, which I am fortunate to have known in our 1 week of journey together. She is a person with a heart of gold. Absolutely. This I will tell you because there is. Have you seen the poster that we've released? The second poster where both of us are there, she as the guest and me as the host. You know who took that picture of me? Priya has not only told me how to pose for that picture, but she herself clicked the picture when she was sitting on the floor for a perfect pose. Pretty girls not only make up for good pictures, but they also take absolutely fantastic pictures. Thank you for that wonderful memory, Priya.
You're
This
welcome.
is this is only the tip of a very huge iceberg that is her goodness. Once I was struggling, fumbling to tie my lace because it's been so many years since school. And honestly, I'm embarrassed, but I forgot how to tie my lace. Priya, even though I was forbidding her to do it and just show me how to do it, she herself tied the lace. This will look very small if we are school friends or college friends. But when you are two absolute strangers participating in a beauty pageant, when you know each of the other is a competition, she still came forward and did that. And I think that is how very few people would have reacted in that place. Few would laugh away and go off. Few would say, okay, you take that right, you take that left, you put them together and make a knot. But Priya did it for me. It is little things like this that touch your heart. And when I didn't make it to top five, you know what Priya said? You, I wish things were different because you could have been there. This is not something again a winner would say. Little moments like these make her the gold that she is, make her the deserving person of Mrs. India, Queen of the World. With absolute pleasure and honor, I would like to take our conversation forward, in between which I will share these interesting stories or anecdotes in between. But let's start with her now. I know all of you want to listen to her. Every week you listen to me. Okay. Priya, we will
Yes.
take most of your time today and give you most of our screen time. So let us begin at the very beginning.
Yes.
We want to know a little about your childhood. How was it? Ordinary like all of us had? Or was it special?
So first of all, thank you so much, Uma, for such a lovely introduction and such kind words that you have bestowed on me, and it means a lot. Um, I just want to say one thing before I start off on my journey, that it is kindness and beauty itself that inspires kindness and beauty. So if I did something good with you or for you, it says a lot about you as well as about me, because you are the sort of person who would inspire goodness in anyone. So I cannot take all the credit of that. It is you as well. Um, so moving on, my childhood was a little different. My father had a transferable job. He was in the government service. So, because of that, we shifted a lot. We transferred a lot. I was born in Pune, Maharashtra, and then we were in West Bengal for a little while. And then we shifted to Uttar Pradesh, where they finally decided to settle down in the small, sleepy town of Kanpur. And that is where I did a lot of my schooling. Childhood was good. I was pampered by my parents to a great extent. But at the age of 7, things took a little different turn in my life. I started going through a lot of bullying in school. Um, so I'm a Punjabi, right? And Punjabis have a lot of body hair. So I was bullied for that growing up. I was called a boy. My parents also got me a very short haircut, which was easy to manage. But because of that, again, with the body hair, with the, short hair, absolutely short hair. It was a convent school and I looked different from the other girls. So I was bullied a lot. I was called a boy. And that kind of really put a mark on my childhood. Apart from that, I also went through a form of abuse in my house by a domestic help, which I didn't speak out about. All these things. And it's been a while. I haven't spoken about this for the longest time, but it's been like a year, 2 years that I've been talking about it because I feel that if I speak about it, it can help somebody else in the same position. So, it was a great childhood, and then these things started happening, which affected me. But I think that there is a silver lining in every cloud, and these bad things, as we would call them, led me to become a writer as well. Because I realized that when I was in my deepest pain or when I was sad, I would turn to stories, to books, and then eventually I would turn to writing those stories. Writing, expressing, venting out my feelings through my words. And that kind of sowed the seed for me becoming a writer later on, which I think was the best thing that could have happened in the light of all the bad that was happening at that time. So that was my childhood, and it was mostly spent in Kanpur. And then as we grew, my teenage years were also spent in Kanpur. And Papa was in the government service. And so it was a privileged background to some extent. I would definitely have to admit that. But again, life does not go in one direction all the time. And when I was around 16, we went through a very big financial crisis, which affected my education, which affected my schooling, which affected our way of living, our lifestyle. And I started working at the age of 17 to support my family and myself also, and to, my education and everything. So that brought me to Mumbai. I started my career with Balaji Telephones, and this was about my childhood, so I won't move that ahead. But yes, these were my formative years, basically.
It takes immense courage to talk of things like these. And that's what makes you the woman you are. You're just not beautiful. You have the innate beauty of being this powerful, courageous woman, yet being so subtle and kind to others. This once again proves how worthy you are to be somebody who others could look at and take as an inspiration and take as a role model. And since we've anyways gotten into your writing, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would like to also introduce another facet of Mrs. Priya Saggi here. She is the youngest crime writer, women crime writer we have in India today. She has written more than 400 shows for Crime Patrol and Savdhan India, and is also the screenwriter for Amitabh Bachchan's Breathe Season 2 Into the Shadows. Priya, I, as a media enthusiast myself, we would like to know more of your writing career and how did you get into it? What position are you in writing? Are you at in now in writing?
Yes. So, as I said, I moved to Bombay and I joined Balaji Telefilms, which is a big production house, and I started there as an intern writer. And that was quite an exciting experience in my life because they say in Bombay that if you can work in Balaji, you can work anywhere in the world because the entire environment is very different. There are late nights, and I got to work with Ekta Kapoor, who is, I think she is really a very different personality. She's like a change maker. People criticize her, but I think, it takes courage to be who she is and do what she's done. But all those, that 1 year in Balaji, it taught me a lot. It also taught me that I don't want to write daily soaps. I could not relate to the Saas Bahu dramas. I could not relate to the kitchen politics. And it brought me back to the fact, what did I love reading? So I loved reading Sidney Sheldon growing up, and he wrote crime stories. I used to love reading James Patterson novels, and most of those were about serial killers. So I realized that that is what I really enjoyed reading and watching. And if you think about it, bullying or abuse, of course, is a crime. So I was exposed to that at a very young age. So somewhere the idea of what crime is, why it happens, Why does the perpetrator act in a certain way? Why does the victim stay silent? All these questions had always bothered me. And somewhere to find these answers, probably I used to read and watch a lot of crime. This is something that I, kind of tried to understand. And it brought me to crime writing. There was no other girl who was writing crime that time. And it was a completely male dominated space in television because, when you write crime shows, there are scenes of rape, there are scenes of murders, and they think that women can't write it or women can't handle it. But me, being just 19 that time, was able to write it and write it well. And with God's grace, I would say that my episodes also did well. So I started writing more and more. And it was my passion at the end of the day. So, I'm lucky that my passion became my profession. So I wrote that. And the move from television to web also happened in 2017. I'd been in TV for quite a long time. And then I decided that, Netflix had come on and Amazon had come on. There was this whole uh, I would say the explosion of digital media where all the writers wanted to get on that bandwagon. And of course, I jumped in on it. And I started my web career with Vikram Bhatt. It was a show for YouTube called Rain. It has garnered more than, I think, 10, 12 million views by now. And then there was Breathe. Before Breathe, I also wrote a show called Abhay, which was on Z5. That stars Kunal Khemu and is been directed by Ken Ghosh. And then finally Breathe into the Shadows, which stars Abhishek Bachchan. Again, all these shows are about serial killers and criminals, but also they try to delve into the mind of the criminal and understand the psychology of why a crime happens. So yes, that is the most recent show that I did. And after that, I took a small break from crime writing and I worked on my book, which is an autobiographical uh, journey of my life through poetry. So that happened, this year. I published that book. So yeah, that's about it. That's about my writing career.
How inspiring is this? Somebody did not just follow their dreams and took the road not taken or the road less taken, but is also successful in it. Huge, huge congratulations, Priya. It just proves that when you believe in yourself, this is where I think people fall short. We sometimes self doubt and think we can't do it and give it up halfway when we are just about to reach that step we wanted to. And you did not give up. You still believed in yourself, and that's why you are. You are. You now hold a record of being the youngest female writer. How cool is that?
Yes,
Crime
it is.
writer
Thank
in
you.
India, yeah. Okay. Serious stuff aside, now let our audience know and our Toastmasters know a little of your marriage and your beautiful, beautiful daughter.
Okay. So I got married really young. I was 22 when I got married because obviously I started working at a very young age and I came to Mumbai. So I got married. I just fell in love and we got married within 6 months. And then immediately I got pregnant. So I was 23 when I became a mom. Um, but I have no regrets. I think it is one of the best things in my life to have happened to have become a mom. I've literally grown up with my daughter, and that's like an amazing relationship that I have with her. That marriage, however, did not work out, my first marriage. And because we were very different people, as I said, it just happened extremely fast. And we got connected really fast and then we got disconnected. But again, no regrets. As usual, like in my life, there's been a pattern that I've kind of stepped up for myself and taken decisions. I took a decision to move out of that marriage because it was not a very healthy relationship for me or my daughter. And I was a single mom for around 2, 3 years. And then I met my current husband, the love of my life. I met him. And yet again, there was a lot of judgment from society that, oh, you're a single mother. Are you going to be dating someone and all of that? But I was like, what is it? I'm just 27 and I deserve to be happy. So I met him and we fell in love. And I introduced him to my daughter. And then I got remarried. And I think it has been one of the best decisions of my life to have taken that step. My daughter is 9 years old now, and she is like my biggest critic and at the same time my biggest cheerleader. So she'll cheer me on, but she'll also have a lot to say about what I'm wearing, how I'm wearing it, and this is what I should and should not do. But at the same time, if somebody else says something, she is going to get into a battle with that person, because she's my best friend. She's everything for me. And my husband is from Mumbai itself. He's a Gujarati, and I'm a Punjabi, so it's like two different cultures coming together, like Bhangra and Garba. And but it's a very nice setup. His family has been very supportive. My mother-in-law is a very, very sweet lady. She's been supportive throughout of whatever I've done. In fact, she's more supportive of me than she is of her son. If he wants to take some new step in his life, or join a new course, she'll have 10,000 questions. But if I say, "Mummy, I just want to do this," he'll be like, "Yes, why are you even asking me? Go ahead, do whatever you want." So, yes, Gappus, Gujarati Punjabis. Absolutely.
Yes. Um, Nobody would expect so much depth when they see you smiling, Priya, because I don't know why people think all smiling people always have happy stories or they haven't seen any gray chapters in life. But I think, on the contradictory, people who have come across things like these, they know how to show a good face to people, how to show a kind face to people that need it more, because at one point in time they needed it more than everybody else. And you are doing an excellent job. Like you said, you are the boss of your own life, the hero of your own life, and you need to take your own decisions if they're not working out for you. What you did is completely up to you, and you're happy. That's what makes us happy. That's what is more important to people who like you, who love you, who consider you worthy. And yes, you're happy. That makes us happy. And coming to your daughter, oh my God, she's such a sweetheart. And when we keep sharing pictures of each other daughters, no offense to sons, but I think daughters are a bliss. They are a blessing. They grow up to be their mom's best, best, best companion. Thank God for all
Absolutely.
daughters. I hope Mahima and Mihira make good friends. I mean, Mahima makes friends with your daughter one day, and they both guide each other like we help each other through our lowest phases.
Yes, absolutely.
Looking forward to making them meet soon. Sorry, boys, if you're feeling left out. When you are girl dads or girl moms, let us all then inclusively talk about this. Okay. Now, Priya, one very interesting topic now I want to talk to you and ask of you. How did the pageantry begin? Was it Oh, Akif is a little sad. I know why. Anyways,
Okay.
Priya, you want to know why one of our most senior Toastmaster in the room is sad?
Yes, yes, I really would like to know.
Akif, my friend, should I pin you and do you want to express the reason for your
Yeah,
sadness yourself?
I I'll represent the whole community, not just me. So there was a talk wherein our presiding officer brought in the idea of Priya coming into our meetings. And when I saw the poster, I was like, wow, amazing. Is she coming really? And we have few more bachelors here. We're like, let us jump into this meeting and support in whatever they want to hold this meeting. And so there are few roles open, which I took and few of us immediately grabbed. And then our presiding officer said she is married. We're like, you should have said it a little early, right?
Akif,
We was had,
honestly,
but yeah,
honestly, brother, on my defense, I put out in the poster saying Mrs. Priya Saggi.
I didn't read anything. I was just looking at the picture. Yeah, we are coming. We are happily going. And that is one of the things. And it's just a joke. Yeah. Over to
That
you.
is so sweet. That is so sweet. I'm flattered.
Oh, you should be. There are many bachelors in our club that are vying to take up major roles just so that they could talk to you on first name basis.
Yeah.
But then I had to do the job of taking the air out of their balloon, saying, sorry guys, she's married, and yeah, she's just going to be a guest and maybe a friend. Yes. So, as I was saying, how did pageantry begin? Was it always a little girl's dream like most girls dream of beauty pageants and crowns? Or did something happen that wanted you to try this path as well?
So, yes, of course, growing up, I saw Lara Dutta and Priyanka Chopra win the crown. And then when I was older and when there was YouTube, I found out about Sushmita Sen and Aishwarya Rai because they were, when they were crowned, I was very small. So I think that was a dream, yes. But as I told you, I had gone through bullying and all that. So it was a dream that, oh, maybe, but I never ever acted upon it. I did not have the confidence at all. I was very happy, um, you know, behind my words, behind the camera, writing stories, where through my stories I could, just make a girl go out and win a beauty pageant or become the heroine of a story. But I was very happy doing what I was doing. And I never thought about it, to be very honest, after that. Even if it was a dream, I think that dream was buried somewhere deep. I didn't give it an active thought. And then in 2021, when the pandemic second wave happened, I had gained a lot of weight during that. I was around 80 kilos because, staying at home, I was writing, I was not in a very good phase mentally. I think all of us have gone through something or the other during pandemic. It was a very, very trying time for the entire world. And I think everybody personally lost something or someone during that time. I lost my father, and that also pushed me to eating a lot of food, like because food became like comfort for me. I developed a very unhealthy relationship with food. So finally, last year in 2022, it was May, and I remember that I had taken my daughter down to the garden, and I was coming back through the stairs with her because my house is on the fourth floor, so we were climbing the stairs, and I couldn't move after a point because I got so breathless. And she just ran to me and she tried to help me. And I thought to myself, ki, oh my God, I'm 32. I'm just 32 and I'm getting breathless. I can't even climb up the stairs. What if something happens to me? What about this girl then? What happens to her? So I started losing weight. Now, during this weight loss journey, and I started walking 20 kilometers a day and, working out, eating right. I did not go on a diet or anything. I just had a good balanced meal every day. And I understood my body and I just cut off the unhealthy relationship with food that I had. During that time, some of the women in my building, used to see me walking every morning and they just said ki, अरे इतना weight lose करके क्या करोगी? Mrs. India में जाओगी? And I said, yeah, I'll go there. So I just said it. And then I told my daughter, and she said, oh, you should go. I was like, I don't even know if there's a Mrs. India right now, what is happening, should I not? And as usual, my family fully supported. And before I could get into it, everybody else was researching. My sister-in-law was researching about it, my mother-in-law. My husband was like, okay, whatever you want to do, you do. And then I decided that, why not? Actually, not why not. My exact words were, why the hell not? And I was like, I should go for it. And that is when I decided pageantry. And I think it has been a great journey. Like, even Uma, I feel whatever the outcome is, I feel it does transform a person. That is something that I truly believe in. And I was scared, I was nervous because pageantry also meant facing all my fears, being in front of the camera, the biggest fear that I've had all my life. My photos are all from this like last 1 year. Before that, you will not find a lot of photos of me on my phone because I never got my pictures clicked. I was always very conscious about getting my pictures clicked, especially full length ones. So I would never get it clicked. So I was never in front of the camera. I could not speak in public. This, what I'm doing right now, last year in May, had I gotten an invite, I would have not been able to speak a word. When I started my pageant journey, all the meetings and training sessions are mostly on Zoom in the first initial phase, right? I didn't even have the courage to unmute and sometimes say thank you to the host because I used to get so tongue tied. Just hearing the sound of my own voice that time was scary to me. So, from that to what I have become now, I think it is because of pageantry, because it just pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I think anything that pushes us out of our comfort zone helps us to transform, helps us to embrace ourselves and showcase ourselves in the best light possible is empowering. So I definitely feel that it is something that has empowered me. And yeah, I think, like, again, like most of my decisions, it is something that I just went for and then just decided that, okay, Arya par, and then the rest is whatever happened after that.
Of course. And it really at this point is becoming very, very difficult to believe whatever you say, saying that you were tongue tied, saying that you couldn't speak, saying that all this was exceptionally difficult at one point of time because it's coming so naturally out now. We're just conversing and you being an expert at whatever you're doing right now. And one more point, yes, family support is extremely important to whoever is taking part in a pageant because there are many people who would say, why pageant? But only a few would say, yes, you should do this. And when we have those yes people in our life, it becomes 90% of the strength that we could take with us into a new journey that is entirely new to us. And do I see Irina's shadow over there? I see a shadow there.
No, that's my husband. He was shooting like a behind the scenes kind of thing for me.
Oh, how sweet, how sweet. Thank you, sir. If he could come in, we'll all say hi.
Would you like to come in? We've just seen your shadow, so you can just come and say hi. I just told him to take some shots of me.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Wow. Oh my God, you have got an amazing family. He's
Thank
not
you.
just winning crowns, but he is shooting your pictures when you're doing this. I mean, how beautiful is that? Any unmarried
Thank you.
girls, take notes. What kind of husband do you want? Somebody who is not jealous of her achievements, but who is proud and want to, put it out there in the world that my wife is a damn achiever and all of you be better proud of it. Oh God, how emotional. And if Irina's around, please do call her in too. We would all like to say hi to her.
Absolutely. Is Irina? She's there? She's in a. Yeah, I'll just get her called. She must be
Sure.
doing her homework.
Yes. Now, because you said it was difficult for you to speak at one point, pageantry is out of question. We have a video that we want to be played. Govind, would you please do the honors, my friend?
We don't have the audio, so while sharing, you should have added.
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't realized.
But it's cool, yeah, this is looking good.
So, does the winning answer have an audio?
Nothing has an audio unless you share it. While sharing, you'll have to select audio as well, right?
I think, yeah,
Oh,
maybe the answer has an audio. This one, the 58 seconds one, probably. I think it should because
Oh, wow, this is beautiful.
thank
yes.
you.
And this is Priya being crowned by the last year's winner, Mrs. Queen of the World India, Priyanka Bajaj. And as you see, congratulating her are Bhumi Pednekar and Neha Dupia themselves.
Oh, wow. Oh, it was Bhumi.
Yes, in the
Well
black.
done. Yeah, in the black. And Neha Dupia, of course.
Crowning her is Priyanka Bajaj. And then there is Neha Dupia.
And this happened how many days back? Like,
This happened on 19th of October.
oh, oh, so close. 2 weeks.
And I was there in the front seat, front row watching it.
And you have a selfie of yours confirming that you're there.
Oh my God, we have a live witness. Priya, was he there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is
Yes,
good. This is looking good, yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And That's my daughter. She's just come to say hi.
Hello.
Hi, Irina. Did we disturb you from doing your homework?
I have the earphone on, so she can't hear you all.
Okay.
Now
Just
she's
say
like,
hi.
yes, of course you are disturbing.
Mommy's proud of you, and so are we. You are proud of mommy, and so are we.
I just
Okay, now I will share this specific video.
While you share your video, I had a question posted for you, Priya,
yes.
specifically on diet management. So, like when you are to present and go there for pageantry, do you guys really follow strict diet like the way bodybuilders do, getting out all the water and like how is the diet management during those days?
So, it's a very good question because I think this diet and maintaining one's body, I think there are a lot of misconceptions around it today. First of all, as I said, with my weight loss, I was 80 kgs last May, and I'm 50 right now. I lost 30 kgs, and I lost that all last year. So I did not follow any rigid diet, and I'm being very honest. I just realized what suited my body. So I realized that I had an issue of water retention, which I think is maximum reason for weight gain for a lot of people. And water retention happens because of excess of sodium, which is your salt intake. So what I realized was that that is something that definitely does not suit me. So I think sodium overall, a lot of sodium because the kind of food that is there today, with the packaged foods and all of the fast food that is there, with the intake of sodium, of course, it leads to water retention, and your water weight is a biggest reason for weight gain. So once I kind of cut down sodium, or I really reduced it, so I started taking substitutes for salt. Like we don't think about it, but salt basically adds that that taste to the food. The same thing can be achieved through lemon. The same thing can be achieved through tomatoes, through olives, through feta cheese, everything which has that natural saltiness. And I started replacing salt with that food. And then processed sugar, again, is one of the biggest enemies of health. I forget weight gain and looking good in pageantry. I think processed sugar should definitely not be part of our diet just if we want to live long. And processed breads, any kind of processed food, basically. So once I cut that down, I started cutting down on my weight. While pageantry also, during my training, I did not follow any rigid diet, but I was disciplined about food. I was very particular about eating at the right time. I was very particular about eating in the right quantity, and of course, working out. I think we can eat whatever we want, but if we don't work out, if we are not active, even a walk for an hour can do wonders for our body. So I don't know about everybody else in pageantry. I think, yes, a lot of people do get on diets. And for somebody who does not know their body, definitely taking help from a dietitian or a doctor is a great idea because at the end of the day, we all need some guidance. I haven't gone on such a rigid diet ever, but it depends on person to person, I think. I can tell you what worked for me, but I think for everybody, it's going to be different. It's different for different people.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. I hope it helped.
Yep.
Oh, it will. Whatever you say will. And my friends, do we have the video ready?
So who is sharing the video, Uma? Are you sharing or you want somebody else to do it?
Yeah, Govind.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not sure about the audio. Is it her speech?
Yes, yes. The recent ones. This one.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the audio.
Okay. The one in the group today, could you check that? Just now.
Okay, just give me a second.
Sure, sure.
There's no audio, but I hope I have enabled captions. Hope that can work. Let me just share it.
World India, beauty redefined.
Okay. I will play the audio.
Okay.
Could you please play the video, Govind?
Yeah, started.
The winning answer, not this one.
This
Yes.
one, right?
Yes.
Does Queen of the World India, beauty redefined means to you? It's number 36.
Thank you so much for this question. I'm a mom of a 9-year-old girl with no prior modeling experience, and yet I stand here today. My story is about acceptance. It's about falling and rising again. It's about inclusivity and diversity. And that is also the story of Queen of the World India, Beauty Redefined, because it believes in letting every woman becoming the heroine of her story. And that is the light that shines here tonight, illuminating this stage, reminding me of an ancient Sanskrit shlok, Nastri Ratna Satsama Maha Ratnam, which means there is no other jewel as radiant as a woman. Thank you.
And Priya, you want us to believe that once you were frightened of speaking and couldn't put two statements together. What an incredible answer. If I ever lost in a pageant, being in top 2 or top 3, I would want to lose to an answer like that. That is a deserving and a worthy answer, worthy of winning answer. Many congratulations on that very well deserved win once again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so now we've seen her winning answer, her crowning photos. Next, let's get a little serious. Priya, I would want to ask you, what is the biggest setback or the biggest struggle that you've faced in your 34 years of a beautiful roller coaster journey?
33.
33. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But women's age, yes.
Yeah.
So, the biggest setback, I think, in my life has been so before this pageant, I took part in another pageant, and this is my second pageant. And the first pageant, I was in the top 7, but I didn't make it to the top 5. I lost, and I gave my everything over there. The mental, financial, physical, emotional investment was there, but I lost. And it really hit me hard. I any which ways was low on confidence, but during that journey, I had gained some confidence. I kind of worked on myself. But when that happened, it was like climbing up a hill and then the steep fall. And I was like, okay, that defeat, it made me feel that everything that the bullies had said about me was correct. I am not worthy to be on stage. I am not good enough to talk. My answer wasn't good that time. My stage presence probably wasn't good. Everything, I questioned myself, because that is what happens when we achieve something. We feel that, oh wow, we're great. But when we lose, we start questioning ourselves. We start finding blame. We either find it outside or we find it within ourselves. And I completely started, thinking that there's something wrong with me, and whatever those bullies had said all those years was right. And then again, my mentors and my daughter, they told me not to give up. My mentor, Munaz ma'am, she is my voice crafting mentor. And if you ever get to speak to her, she'll tell you how hard she worked on me, because the tongue-tied thing that I was telling you, I had my training with her and I told her that I can't speak. What is wrong with me? And she told me, you need to free your voice. You've been silenced for so long. You only talk through your writing. You have to now start talking through your words. So when she told me that, you should not give up, you should try again. But this time, work on yourself and also see where you should be. Make the right choice, meet the right people, and then make a decision. But don't give up. And don't ever believe the bullies. what they said to you growing up was wrong. Believe what you see in the mirror and not the mirror that they showed you. So for me, it was like, okay, how again I turned that setback into a victory. Now, for me, victory, of course, the crown is very important. That is what we were all there for. But at the same time, what are the things that I could have done better? What are the things I could have worked on better? And can I this time actually become the best version of myself without worrying about anything, without worrying about whether I'll win or lose, without worrying about, oh, what if it happens again? And that is the attitude I went with uh, in this pageant. So, yeah, the biggest setback in my life, I think, till date has been that defeat, because it did not just mean that one defeat. It reminded me of all the losses, defeats, downfalls that I went through before that in my life. It made me face all the complexes that I was going through before that. So I think that was it. And I'm so glad, and I think I'm so grateful to God to help me get through it. Because, setbacks sometimes can, like achievements can turn our lives around, so can setbacks. So I'm very glad that I had a chance to fight that through. And, that's it. I'm just grateful.
Why does this journey feel so personal now? To all those, I have, to all those listening to Priya's journey and thinking, how could she not win when she was so good? Welcome to pageantry. This happens many times when you are the best out there, when you are undoubtedly the most deserving person in the room, but still you don't make it. It just happens. There is no reasoning to it. There is no fault finding. There is no blaming anyone. It just happens for no reason at all sometimes. But the most important thing is you haven't given up on yourself. The most important thing is you had it in you. You've known it always, and you've given it one more chance. That one more chance makes all the world of difference to those aspiring and to those winning. You serve not just as a very personal story, but you also serve as a great, great inspiration, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And when you were saying about that failure hitting you very hard, often this happens to all of us, isn't it, dear Toastmasters and guests? In our winning moment, we don't remember us winning each and every medal in our life, each and every small and big victory in our life. But once we fail, that failure somehow has the power to bring to our memory every time we were hit, every time we fall, every time we failed. I don't know why failure does that to us. We're already depressed, yeah. Let it be. Why should you come in groups and attack us? But that's how it does. Even when I couldn't make it on the stage with you, Priya, that is how I felt. How you felt in your first pageant. Did I not have it in me? Were people right about me not being able to make it because I'm not enough? All these thoughts keep hitting on me. But then listening to your story also serves as a comforter, because it's not about you being the best. There are many things not in your control. It's not about you doing everything right and still not making it, but it's still not your fault. I am crowned as congeniality, queen of congeniality, and the first person to wish me in the audience was, of course, Priya, because we were sharing the same table that
Yes.
night of the subtitle winners. We were sharing the same table, and she wished me first. But it took time for me to sink in, but because that was unexpected that day. And yes, to all my friends out here, Priya has seen me on my high that night, and Priya has seen the absolute low of me when I felt now this is over. Because nobody else would understand if I say what had happened that night. Because she's been in that place, she will resonate. She's
Yes.
also a kind person, a very good person. This I'm not saying because I am kind or good myself, like Priya said. No, this is completely her credit. She's a very good person. Despite to winning, she has the heart to tell to somebody that didn't win that you deserved it too. Nobody would like to share their glory with anyone. But that's your Mrs. and Queen of the World India for you. A heart of gold, like I said earlier. Priya, Now we were discussing the lowest phase of yours in the life has been that pageantry hit. Did your self belief and perseverance help you get back in shape, get back in that mode? No, I still have it in me. I'm going to do it because I know the I know how big that previous pageant hit you. How huge could it be?
Yes. So, Uma, perseverance and self-belief, yes. But what it also got me thinking about was the power of our dreams. I'll give an example, okay? So, imagine you have a 2000 note, a note of a 2000 rupee. What happens if it falls down on the ground? Will we pick it up? Yes, right? What happens if it gets a little crumpled and falls down on the ground? Will we leave it there or will we pick it up? We'll pick it up. What
Absolutely.
happens if it gets crumpled and there's some mud thrown on it? Uh, will we still leave that 2000 note? We'll still pick it up. What happens if somebody comes, steps on it, and goes away? We'll still pick it up. We'll still pick up the 2000 rupees note, which is trampled, which is crumpled, which is dirty, but we'll still pick it up. Why? Because it has value, right? So if it has value, it is invalid, so I won't. Whichever is the valid note, if we have a, a note of a high, number of a 500 or whatever, if we have, we will still pick that up no matter what condition that is in, because it has value, right? But we never treat our dreams that way. People come, they trample on our dreams. They tell us, oh, you can't do it. Situations happen in which we fail, like the pageant. It's like the crumpling of the note, right? Where things have happened. And what do? We sometimes leave and give up that dream. But why are we doing that? Just because it's not tangible, just because it does not have value, monetary value, just because we can't buy things with it. If we won't leave that money, why do we let go of our dreams? That is something that I believe in very strongly, that no matter what, don't give up on your dreams. And I keep saying that. It was part of my introduction video. It is something that I say regularly on my social media also, because I think that the biggest problem in our lives is that we just give up on our dreams. Yes, there are going to be situations which are going to be very hard. There are going to be situations where it seems impossible. But always remember that 2000 rupees note or whatever note, which, is valid. If we won't give up on that, why give up on yourself? Why give up on your dreams? If money has value, so do you. So definitely, I think that thought which I had helped me boost up my self-belief. It helped me work on my confidence. And of course, I could not have done it without family support, because see, I can say that, oh, I don't want to give up on my dream. I want to go again and take part in a pageant. But I have a daughter, I have a husband. Their support is also very important, because it's not just my life. I am connected to them. If I decide to go and take a step, my family also has to make sacrifices, right? We take decisions alone, but there are people who are always affected by those decisions. So, of course, family support, they boosted my self belief. And as I said, my mentors, my Monaz ma'am, I think she really boosted my confidence. Just her being there. And, I was talking to you about Coco Berry also, about Anjali ma'am and Alicia ma'am. They are pageant grooming experts. They teach you how to do ramp walk and communication and all of that. They are a big name in the pageant world here. I think with them, I started getting my confidence back. So while I always had that self belief and I did not want to give up on my dreams, you need that boost in life. You need a support system, to help you get where you are. So definitely, yes, self belief, not giving up, and support of a family and mentors. I think that is very, very important to achieve one's dream.
True, true, true. Never giving up is very, very important. Like you said, yes, we easily get people who say, oh, you can't do it. It's very tough. It is important we find those people. We find those people who say you have it in you, you can do it, go ahead, you're winning it, try one more time, what is there to lose? That kind of people are our kind of people. People find them, and if you found them, don't lose them. Like me and Priya are not losing each other now.
Yes, never.
Yes, so we have Elios asking a question. How does perseverance relate to the concept of beatitudes in a spiritual or moral context?
So, that's a lovely question. Perseverance, I think, is something that in any part of our lives, be it like I give my example in pageantry. But again, what does perseverance mean? It means to just go after something, to not give up, to keep going at it no matter what, even if it's an uphill road, even if there are difficulties. Perseverance, I think, is something that can help us in every form of life. And I think it relates in a moral and spiritual context as well. Because, see, suppose we are in a world, suppose we are in a situation where no matter what we have, there are circumstances and situations which are against us. If we have that perseverance to stand up for ourselves and do the right thing in that particular situation, it will help us morally and ethically as well. Suppose there is a situation in our lives where we, we the entire world is doing something and we want to do something else. It's very easy to join the herd and follow that mentality. But following your own heart, again, is a form of perseverance. Perseverance is there everywhere. So I think it definitely relates. Personally, in my journey, my perseverance for everything, be it, my work, my writing, be it for following my heart, moving out of a marriage that did not work for me. That also is an example of perseverance because I could have stayed where I was, but I decided, no, I'm going to work for myself and not give up. So just going at it and not giving up, I think can help us morally, spiritually, every way. With me, it has been even financially. My work, my writing, my passion is my livelihood. I am totally dependent on it and it gives me mental as well as financial satisfaction. So I think definitely, yes, it relates. And it is something that can help us in every way in our life. Just the idea of not giving up and just going at it no matter what.
Thank you for that question, Elios, and thank you for that lovely answer, Priya. Now, does the Heal Through Words project take birth and just all the crisis that is going with you personally, be it a pageant failure or your self-confidence taking a hit?
So, Heal Through Words is an initiative that I launched around three and a half, just before the pandemic. I'd launched it. So, how it started was that I was invited at my daughter's school to give a talk on writing, storytelling for the younger kids. And while I did that, I really enjoyed the process of talking about writing. And it brought me back to the reason why I had started writing in the first place. The first piece of writing that I had ever written was when I was a kid and when I had a really bad day. And I expressed my feelings through writing. So I realized that words have immense power and they can help transform the world. They can help transform somebody's life because they help transform my life. It could be through storytelling. It could be through journaling. There are many ways that you can use words to, express your feelings. So Heal Through Words is something that I launched, which basically involves me guiding or teaching people how to express their emotions through different forms of writing, through storytelling, through journaling, through strong message-driven content. I hold workshops in schools for kids, for senior citizens as well, where they start expressing their feelings on pen and paper, on whatever form of writing that they want to do. And eventually, it helps them to rewrite their life story. If I can give you an example, there are two examples. One is of an 7-year-old girl who I could help through this project, and one is of an elderly gentleman. And I'll just give you the example of both these people. So this elderly gentleman, Mr. Ketkar, he had joined my Heal Through Words project through my mother-in-law, and he was part of a walking group. So they all used to walk together in the society's garden. And his name is Mr. Ketkar, and he was a very sweet old man. But he was really depressed when I met him. He had his son who lived in the States, and his entire day was spent worrying, will my son call me today or not? And the only highlight of his day was his son calling him maybe once in 2, 3 days, probably speaking to him, and that's about it. He was a widower, he was alone. And when I met him, he told me, Ki, how will words help me? How is it going to help me? So I started working with him. I did one session with him. I explained to him how to write down his feelings. And through his writing, I could understand that he's really depressed. Then I explained to him the hero's journey, which is a basic concept of writing. Why every story is based on that one concept of the hero's journey. Once I did that, I told him to rewrite his life story, which is basically 2 pages of how he would see his life going. And he again said, how is it going to help me? But we worked on it. We had a couple more sessions. We worked on it. And he rewrote his story. And it was a very nice story that he wrote. But he didn't know that at that time, that thing is going to come true. He wrote in his story that his wish is not to keep waiting for his son's call. His wish is that his son should be waiting for his call to come to him. His wish was to find love again at the age of 59. And his wish was to have emotional, mental stability and just live his life fully. Let me tell you now, Mr. Ketkar is active on Bumble. He has a very active dating life. He is dating this Parsi lady from Bandra, whom he believes is a very good catch because she does not have any kids and she has her own house. So he thinks she's a good catch. And he is in situationships at this point, which is a very Gen Z concept, but he's there. And he doesn't wait for his son's call. And in fact, his son came down to meet him and stayed in India for 2 months because he was worried that his father is forgetting him. So that is what the writing did for him. He actually wrote that. He actually started journaling and he started doing these manifestations and affirmations, which is a very strong part of Heal Through Words. So this is one of the success stories. I gave this example so that, we can understand what Heal Through Words is about. And the example of the little girl, I'll not take too much time on that, but it was a girl who was in a school. And once I went for the session, I gave them like 1 page about your day. Write something about your day. What is the best part of your day and what is the worst part of your day? So most of the kids wrote the best part is when the teacher gives us a star, or when my mom gives me a chocolate, or when I go down to play in the garden. And the worst part could probably be, oh, I didn't go get what I wanted. I didn't get a doll or something like that. But this girl wrote that the worst part of her day was when Annie got upset. And there was no Annie living in her house. So when I read that, I showed it to the teacher because I share all the notes with the teacher. And I said, okay, who's Annie? Her mom? Who's it? Who gets upset? Because why is it bothering the girl? Because she wrote, I get very scared when Annie gets upset. Later on, after some investigation, the parents found that Annie was the real name of her babysitter. She had given a fake name to the parents. Her real name was Annie. This girl had heard her talking to her boyfriend. And when Annie got upset or got into a fight with her boyfriend, she used to hit this girl. So this girl was going through violence at home when the parents were not at home. And that came out through expressing her feelings on paper in a session with me. And I realized that, again, how this helped me, it can help so many other children and people. So I regularly go to those schools for workshop, and that the girls' parents personally thank me that had you not done this session, we would have never come to know what's happening in our house when we are both working. So this is what Heal Through Words is all about.
Excellent, Priya. There is no other word absolutely for this. I can't imagine what that kid might be going through had we not found out, at least at that point of the time. She at least escaped a horrible, horrible future that would have scarred her for life. Thanks to you and that amazing project of yours. It is so lively to listen to stories of change. So, my dear bachelor friends, do not worry, age is but a number. You still have chance to be on Bumble at 59, so don't worry, it's okay. Yes. Proceeding next, Mrs. Queen of the World, India, Priya Saggi, what are your future plans?
So I think right now I will fully immerse in preparing for the international pageant, which is the Queen of the World pageant to be held in New York next year in April. After I take a little break and rejuvenate after this entire year, I think, which is not going to be a lot of time, it's just going to be this Diwali break. I think after that, I will immerse back in my preparations. As I said, I will work with my mentors again and work with our our pageant director. And that is basically right now, my entire focus is on that because I will be representing India. And I will try my level best to get the crown back home and make my country and my family and everybody proud of me. So that is and of course, writing is there. I keep working. I cannot live without my pen and paper or my keyboard. I keep writing. My writing is also something that really helped me during the pageant, because the last question we had to write down our answers. And being a writer, I could write it really fast. I just kept writing and writing and writing.
Exactly, exactly. You spoke so much that everybody were wondering how could somebody write this in 58, 59 seconds. But
Yes, 60
yeah,
seconds. And as soon as I stepped out backstage, all the girls were like, "Oh, yes, you're a writer." That's why I said yes.
and you put in Sanskrit too, which is amazing. Brilliant, Priya. I'm so happy it all worked out well and it worked out worthily. And many congratulations on your future plans. And did I say it right? Mrs. Queen of the World, India. Is that with the feel? Is the feel all right?
Yes, lovely.
Very soon, we will say Mrs. India, the Queen of the World. And then we will expect you to come back to us once again.
Absolutely. It would be a pleasure.
And one last thing I will ask of you today, not for our life, but for today, yes. What is that one thing you want to leave us with today? If we are to end our meet in the next 15-20 minutes, what is that one thing you want us to think upon?
I think first of all, it has to be about that note, 2000/500 rupee note. Definitely, that is something that I would um, like everybody to think about, because I think that it's a very important thing to not give up on yourself. There will be times when the world will question you. There will be times when you yourself will question yourself. But remember that note. It has value, and so do you. And if possible, I'd like to leave everyone with a small poem from my book, if that's okay. It's the title poem of my book called Akhand. And Akhand means unbroken. And that is, I think, all of us have been broken in many ways, yet we are all here today. We are all unbroken as well. So I'll just read that poem. A second. I remember it, but I don't want to make any errors while reading it. So it goes like, branded a witch, branded a sage. My story changes with every age. Torn, broken down, scattered, burned to ashes. The same ashes smeared across my forehead. Built, rebuilt, to whole, but I am still here. Unbroken lies my soul. So I'd like to leave you all with this thought that we all go through this, but the same fire that has burnt us, we can use those same ashes to make ourselves look beautiful. Use those ashes as war paint. And that war is not against the world, but it's for you. And just believe in yourself. Everything is possible. And we are all very beautiful just the way we are.
I think I'll run out of adjectives describing what I feel for you and what I feel for what you have given to the session and to all of our Toastmasters. But this is the one once to end this fantabulous session. Thank you so much, Priya. But we're not leaving you right now. I'm only showing you this gratitude because you deserve it and I cannot keep it in me anymore. What wonderful words did you put out there and how nicely have you said them? I think I will have to write you a long test of what I feel at this moment right now. That I'll definitely do. But we will leave the floor open for questions for the next 5 minutes. And I believe we have a few in the chat box. Yes, so Elios also asks, in what ways can perseverance impact one's personal growth and character development?
So absolutely, Elios. I think again, perseverance. If I give my own example, not giving up, I kept going at it. I kept working on myself. If I give the example of even my weight loss journey, I used to walk 20 kilometers a day, every day. I've reduced that to 10 kilometers a day now because otherwise I'll vanish probably. But 20 kilometers a day, every day, it is an example of perseverance. And it helped me in my personal growth where I am physically fit now. Being the mother of a 9-year-old daughter, I have often been told that I don't look like one, but it is because I take care of myself, because I don't give up. I keep going at it every day, rain, sun, no matter what. Even during my pageant journey, even during the training, I kept doing it. Even when we were in Jaipur during a pageant week, I kept walking in the corridor outside my room because I had to complete my steps. So that is one example of perseverance for our own personal growth. And I think again, in no matter what you do, if you don't give up and you keep going at it, it will result in something. There is nothing in this world that you cannot achieve if you just give your everything to it. You know, they also say that you do your best and God will do the rest. I think that is also somewhere I can connect it with perseverance, that you will give your 100%. Trust me, the universe will give you back. It will, in some way or the other. It may not always be something that you expect, but it could be something more than that as well, for sure.
Thank you so much, Priya. Elios, does that answer your third question as well? Are there any practical strategies or techniques for maintaining perseverance when faced with challenges?
Affirmations.
Yes.
Absolutely, affirmations. So we all talk a lot about manifestations, right? But what are manifestations? Manifestations are basically us creating our own destiny in a way. How does that work? So I'll give you a very practical example. This is something that I read and studied recently about our critical mind and about our subconscious mind. So, till the age of 12, we don't develop a critical mind, right? But we have our subconscious always present, always active. They say that the subconscious does not understand negative words. So it does not understand no, it does not understand any negative words, it understands positive words. I don't know how true this is, but I read it and I believe it because if you keep telling yourself good things can happen. There are patterns in our brain that are formed. See, if we tell ourselves, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it, or oh, the world is against me, or you know what, I'm not lucky. If we keep telling ourselves these things, eventually that becomes our destiny because we are feeding that to our subconscious brain. Whereas affirmations and manifestations are the opposite of that. We tell ourselves every day, I am lucky. I'm going to win this. I'm going to do this. When we keep saying that to ourselves, when we keep reminding that to ourselves, A, we are tuning our subconscious mind into believing. B, we are releasing good hormones in ourselves because it makes us happy to believe good things, right? All of that makes us work harder. All of that makes us feel more positive about ourselves. All of it helps us in our own perseverance towards our missions, towards our goals. And I think affirmations every day, be it you write it yourself or you read it. Being a writer, I write down affirmations every day. I have a different affirmation for every day. Like, for example, my affirmation for today was that I will speak loudly and clearly in the meeting in the evening. because sometimes I talk a little softly. So today's affirmation was I'm going to speak loudly and clearly. And I kept telling myself that I've written that 5 times since the morning before coming here. And it has helped me because every time I sense my voice going down, I remind myself of that affirmation. So I think affirmations are a very practical way in order to help you through your journey of perseverance and achieve your goals.
Tremendous, tremendous. Thank you so much, Priya. The floor is open for questions, dear Toastmasters and guests. If you want to ask our Mrs. India, Queen of the World, anything, yes, Govind, we're waiting for your question, and I'm going to pin you right beside the both of us. Do you want me to make an exit? Okay, go on.
Okay. Priya, I was asked to make a poster about you, and I got a brief description about you. The first word I read was crime writer. So the first thing that came to my mind is you became a crime writer because you got inspiration from Crime Patrol. Later, I realized that you're the writer for Crime Patrol itself. So my main question is, how did you get inspiration for writing? Because if I want to write something, I am out of ideas. So how you write unlimitedly? How do you get that inspiration?
Thank you, Govind, for the question. So I think being a writer means being somebody who observes people really well and who tries to find stories everywhere. If you look around you, each one of us has a story. All of us are stories. Every tiny thing. So for me, whenever I'm noticing people, I'm even if something normal is happening around me, it's like a scene. This right now, this interaction, this meeting, this beautiful session that we've had, it's like a scene. So if you start viewing everything like a scene, like a story, characters, we're all characters in this story. I'm a character who's a crime writer. There's Uma, there's you, there's Ilios with his wonderful questions. There's so many people. We are all characters. We all have something that makes us work, and characters are what makes the story go. So first of all, if you are stuck somewhere in writing, just look around. Go to a crowded street, take your laptop or your pen and paper, sit down, and just observe everyone. Like, don't stare at people like pointedly, but just observe everyone. And you're going to find your inspiration there. So that is what I do. Oftentimes, I go to the dockyards in Bombay. It's a beautiful place. I just sit and I observe the fishermen. I observe the ships coming in. I observe the boats coming in. And I just try to think, okay, why is that person doing that? Why are they talking? What are they doing? It's a little creepy, I know, to be sitting and observing people, but we are writers. We can get away with that. And secondly, my inspiration for writing, especially crime, as I said, because a crime had happened with me as when I was a child. So it got me really thinking about the reasons. So if you're stuck in writing, they say that a writer always should first write about something that they know about. So whatever are the things that interest you, things that you're very confident about. It could be the place that you belong to. It could be the community you belong to. It could be the things that you like, your hobbies. Start writing first about that. Inculcate them into your story. Sometimes as writers, I think we try to write about things that we don't know about. Something very unique, something very different, very hatke. Don't do that. Write what you know, because you're going to be able to do 100% justice to that. Start over there and try this observation technique. I do that a lot. Even now, once in a month, I go and I just sit in some place and I'll just keep looking at people and making notes. I'll even write down what they're wearing, because you never know what you might see somebody really unique, and you can create a character out of them. So try that. It might work. It might help you.
Thank you so much. That answered my question.
Thank you.
Did you take a photograph, Govind?
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot.
Yeah, please do. Priya, please smile nicely for Govind's photograph.
I request everyone to switch on the cameras. I'll take a quick snip.
This is yours exclusive, Govind. At the end, we'll do for everybody.
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm using two devices. I'm kind of
Because Priya, he deserves the credit. He's the man behind the beautiful posters that we've had for the past week.
Wow. Wonderful.
Both of them.
Wonderful. That's lovely. They were so well made. Beautiful.
Govind, the first two words she told me was, wow, it's beautiful. And I could feel her speaking through that text of hers to me.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed when she posted my poster in her story. Like, so many people are gonna view it. That way, I felt happy. Thank you so much.
Of course, he deserves it. He's our Vice President, Public Relations for this club.
Wow.
Is the picture done, Govind?
I'm
Yeah,
just
it's done.
trying to
Okay.
trying to straighten my crown.
Don't worry, good nature will do it for itself.
And
Okay, so we have one more from Ganesh. The question is, what do you suggest to maintain consistency and overcome procrastination?
Very good question, because I think procrastination is something which we all go through. I go through it every day. I have to still clean out my closet. I haven't done that. So, I think again, to be consistent, it kind of links to the perseverance, because I think all of these words, if you think about all these positive words, they all link to each other. There's a reason why these words exist. To be consistent, I think you need to remind yourself why you began in the first place. There is a why to everything. Govind, there's also a why to every story, right? So, same with this question, the why of, why am I here? Why have I chosen to do this? Why do I want XYZ? Why do I want this in my life? Keep reminding yourself of the why in your life, because that is the base, that is where you began. Secondly, discipline. Again, discipline is a very, as soon as you hear the word discipline, I think it already makes us feel like procrastinating, because it is like, oh God, now I'll have to be disciplined. But why can't it also be fun? Why can't your reminders and your daily discipline be a little fun, wherein you can involve your friends and your family, wherein you can make it a joint effort? Which brings me to my third point, that we all want to do everything alone. But man is a social animal. We are all social. We need some form of contact. I'm an introvert, but I realize that even I can't stay without my support system. Sometimes when we forget why we started in the first place, we can be reminded by that, by our friends, family, our support. And again, procrastination is something that we have to fight within. We have to work for it. Affirmations, daily reminders, and just keep going back to the why. Although, once my husband sees this, he will ask me, why haven't I cleaned my closet yet? Because why can't I figure out the why behind that? But, jokes apart, I think the toughest thing to fight is always within ourselves. We are the heroes and antagonists of our stories. If the heroic thing that we do is take a step ahead and persevere, I think the thing that we do as villains is to procrastinate. No, don't do that. There's never going to be a tomorrow, because it becomes a today, always. So if there's never going to be a tomorrow, then why not start today? But again, all this is very easier said than done. I know that it takes time, it takes effort. I think just get your support from inside, get your support from your support system, and just go for it. Don't think what is going to happen. Don't make plans, just go for it. I think that is something that I do when I'm stuck somewhere. Instead of procrastinating, there's a time, kal hoga, kal hoga, kal hoga, and then just jump into it. Take the leap. Don't think at that point. That can help. I hope it helps.
Impressive, very impressive. Thank you, Priya. Any more questions? Yes, Sailaja. I'm going to
Good
quickly
evening,
pin
everyone.
you.
Evening, Priya.
Good evening.
So my question is, like I'm writing, journaling my journaling since 1 month. I started it, and the initial point, it's very hard to start doing consistently. But after a point, I realized that I cracked the consistency. I've been did it for continuously 1 month, and I have a track on it. Everything I was writing, but somewhere I think when I reread it, what I write, what I've written, then I realized that I'm not getting to the point where I'm just stuck. After initial stage of starting anything is difficult, but we crack that stage. We reach that stage of consistency, everything. But even after getting that, to going in deep of that particular thing, then we get stuck again there after starting. To how to get into that stuck point, like how to get out of that stuck point after being consistent.
So, first of all, you have a beautiful smile. I wanted to say that as soon as you asked the question. Um, See, it's a part of the journey. It cannot be smooth. It cannot be like, okay, like for your journaling, if I give that example, when you are writing, the entire point of journaling is not to get to the point. The entire point of journaling is to follow that journey. That's why it is called journaling, probably, because you are following your own journey. The point where you want to get to is through your writing itself, is through your words itself. So, for example, again, then getting stuck, it is a very normal thing. I think when we get stuck, we get very worried. Oh no, what's going to happen now? Oh, I've not made any progress. Oh, all my hard work is going down the drain. No, it's the part of the process. Just trust the process. Maybe the fact that you're stuck somewhere is a signal from your brain or from the universe that take a break. View whatever you're doing from a distance. That happens with me sometimes when I am stuck somewhere where I see that, oh, it happened when I was trying to lose weight. If I give that example, they say sometimes when you're trying to lose weight, you hit a plateau and nothing happens. It doesn't go down, it doesn't go up, it is just stuck. And I kept thinking, oh, this is not going to go anywhere. What did I do? I was working so hard for the past 6 months. And my doctor told me then that, you know what, just stop everything. It is your human body. It cannot always work the way you want it to. Same way, the world cannot work the way we want it to. Our situations cannot work. Sometimes it's good to get stuck. Move away from the situation, look at it, and see that what it is that is making you get stuck over there. Yes, it will be a break on your consistency, but whenever you view things from a distance, I think it will help you. So even in terms of your journaling, if you're getting stuck, I would say for one day, I won't say don't journal because it's very difficult to get into the flow and rhythm. And it's a great thing that you've achieved, that you've been writing consistently for a month. When I do my Heal Through Words project, I think people get to that point after a very long time. So it's wonderful. So don't stop your journaling, but try to change the narrative, or try to change the way you are journaling. So maybe if you are, what time do you journal? Do you do it in the morning? Do you do it at night?
At morning, 4 to 5, in between of that.
4 to 5. Okay. So maybe between 4 to 5, instead of just directly journaling, you can start off with writing down simply words. Don't write sentences, just write words. And then come up with sentences that kind of suit those words. Try to make different. So I'm just saying that give different forms of journaling rather than, when you start that, okay, today is this something that I feel, or, last night this happened or that happened. Instead of doing that, try to approach it from a different way. Maybe just write words, maybe just write some verses, maybe just write some quotes that you like, and then write down something what you like about those quotes, explain those quotes, approach it from a different way, and then see how it goes. Because I think whenever you're stuck somewhere, try to approach that situation from a different way, but don't stop writing. Taking a break does not mean going back on a hard work. Taking a break means taking a step back and seeing, okay, what else can be done. I hope that helps you.
Yeah. And you mentioned about the write something words. What sort of words that could be?
Oh, weird ones. Go for weird ones. See, so when we do positive journaling and affirmations, we write words like manifestation, love, hope. But I think because you're already journaling, these words must have come up in your, in your diary somewhere or the other. Find weird words, words that you don't normally use, but words that will have some kind of depth. So, for example, use esoteric, which means something which nobody has heard of. The word itself is so weird. And what about your life is esoteric for you? Or what about somebody else is esoteric for you? Or do people find me like that? So when you think one word, see, I could come up with 3 questions in 10 seconds about that word. Imagine you have 1 hour, 4 to 5 a.m. during journaling. You take 5 weird, difficult, different words. You'll get questions. When you're answering those questions, it will help you to write more and more. and it'll make your writing process a little more interesting also for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try definitely from
Yes.
tomorrow onwards.
Absolutely. I hope it helps.
Thank you.
And Sailaja, this is first hand, first class, first grade tips from the writer herself. So many congratulations on receiving them. Any more questions? Sorry, Priya, we are running over time, but we
That's
like to
okay.
talk. We like to talk to
It's my
remarkable
pleasure.
people like you.
Thank you.
Can't help ourselves. Any more questions? Akib, do you have anything to ask?
We have a question in chat by Srinivas.
Sorry, I must have overlooked. Srinivas Ji wants to know what suggestions would you give us to make attractive writing in terms of vocabulary?
Oh, lovely. So yes, it will be very similar to what I just answered for the previous question. So again, vocabulary. For her journaling, I said yes, some difficult, unique words. But for vocabulary, if you want to make attractive writing, I think it's not about what the words are. See, journaling is a very different aspect than storytelling. In storytelling, the simpler it is, the more beautiful it is. While journaling, where she was stuck, definitely different sounding words and unique words can help. Difficult words can help because they make you think. But when it comes to storytelling, and if that's the writing that you're asking for, keep it simple. It's not about the words per se, but it's about how you use the words. There can be simple words which are there, and you can use them to make something sound very dull and boring. But at the same time, the way you craft the words can make them sound interesting. But having said that, I think keep working on reading. The more we read, the more we come across interesting words, and we see how other writers have used them. So we can also pick up on that and get inspired and use them in a similar or a different manner. So keep reading, keep building your word bank, and I think that can only happen through reading. I think writing and reading absolutely go hand in hand. I don't think one can be a good writer unless one is a good reader and one loves reading. You have to love reading if you love writing. I think it cannot happen in any other way. So keep doing that and keep coming across words. And remember, how you use them is more important than the words itself.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Srinivas, for that question as well. Akib, my friend.
So I have a
I'm-
question.
Yes.
When you were mentioning about the prep work for your pageantry, one aspect is, of course, fitness and how you look on the floor. The other aspect is communication, wherein you said, you mentioned somebody may has some
Mona,
speech, some speech assistant. What were the kind of trainings or what were the modules that you went through those periods? I also want to give a background of why I'm asking this question. At Toastmasters, we have something called table topics, wherein we give an impromptu topic to somebody and people think on their feet. So that is the way we learn impromptu speaking. But how was your process when you did all of it?
So I learned it from Monaz Ranana. She is a very famous voice crafting expert here in Bombay, and I think overall in India. She trains all the Miss Indias, Miss Worlds, everyone in pageantry, and also voiceover artists go to her. So her training module it started off with me freeing my voice. Now, how did she help me free my voice? How was my voice caged in the first place? It was because growing up, I was always silenced. So while I could speak, but I could speak when I was writing. So as a writer, I had to narrate stories, and also I was very confident about that. But when it came to talking about myself, I could not. So the first thing she helped me was with freeing my voice, which began with why, in the first place, was I so silent? Why couldn't I speak? So it took me back to the why of the entire thing, and I realized that, oh, as a child, I had been silenced a lot, so I could not speak. And then it was a lot about the diction. It was a lot about enunciation. She told me that, you know what, you're a writer. You play with words every day. Content is not going to be your problem. But how you deliver it is going to definitely come in your way if you don't work on it. So she taught me the correct enunciation for words. And of course, like you said, putting you on the spot where you have to speak on a topic, that is also something we did. But I think that happened more in my communication classes with Anjali Raut. She's also a communications expert in Bombay from Cocoberry. She used to give us topics, you know, on the spot where we had to speak about it for like a minute or 2 minutes. It could be something related to current affairs. It could be something related to philosophy, to religion, to our own life background, to anything. And along with the training that I got from Monaz ma'am, which was more about my voice and the power of what voice can do, the communication techniques that I learned from Anjali ma'am, they really helped me open up. I think that 1 month at Cocoberry, which I was even talking to you about, Uma, last night, in fact, it helped me because you know this thing that even if you all are doing this where you put somebody on the spot and they have to speak, it is wonderful. It takes away your fear. First of all, you're doing it in front of people, so it takes away your fear of public speaking. Secondly, it will challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone. And I think that is very important when you are training your voice or when you're coming to communication. My biggest problem was that I could not speak in public. Uh, if somebody had asked me to narrate a story, I could have done that. But if somebody asked me, you know, how was your day, I would be like very blank. How was your day? Narrated like a story, yes. Then I would narrate. That if it's a story that I'm narrating to an actor, that I have to pitch a story, yes. But if it's about myself, I could not. But working with them, being put on the spot every day in front of a group of other students, being asked to think and speak, and then the correct way of standing, the correct way of, you know, of course, in pageantry, there's a different way of standing when you speak, but how to hold the mic, how to not feel nervous when the mic is in your hand. Because earlier, when I used to hold the mic, my hands used to shake. Because as soon as I used to hold the mic, it would be like, oh God, what is going to happen now? So, all of these techniques definitely helped. But the first one that was just let go of your inhibitions when you're talking. There's no right or wrong content. Whatever you're saying is going to be good. Just speak it out. Just say it out. So I think all of this really helped me. I hope that answers the question.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Akib is the reason why I joined this particular club.
Wow.
He was the president when I joined the Coastline Toastmasters Club. You know, after our disastrous experience at INC, I had, like you felt at a point of time, I had lost the confidence I had in myself. But then again, I began to put myself on the spot and think, what's my biggest strength? That's my communication. Not my being beautiful, not my being rich, influential, popular, not all of it. My strength, something I could really be proud of, is my communication. So I thought I will choose a stream where I could really say I have given my 100%. And that's how I was in search of a Toastmasters club that could give me a platform where I could speak. And in my search, I happened to meet Akib at a club meet in Vizag, Andhra Pradesh. And because of him, I joined this club, Coastline,
Wow.
to which I am the president today.
Sina kar do.
Uh,
Sorry, my audio.
no, it's okay.
That's a lovely story, and you know, it just shows how um, even good things can happen. Good outcomes can happen from bad things.
Oh yeah, this is one good thing that has happened from that experience at INC. And I was also saying, Akib has today curated a wonderful table topic session. We thought we will have time left after our interactive session, but you being an absolutely wonderful speaker and having those stories worth sharing, and this session having audience who are responsive, happy and positive, we're just short of time. I am sad we're missing Akib's curated session, but I'm also happy that we had some worthwhile time all this while. Do we have any more questions, or can we call it a day? My dear Toastmasters and guests, if you have nothing further to ask right now, it's okay. If you want to reach out to her, you all know her Insta ID. Please do DM. She's an absolutely wonderful person. I'm sure she'll get back to you. If not
Absolutely.
immediately, but sometime.
I loved being here, and I mean, everybody, the questions were so nice, and there were a lot of them about writing, which I love talking about. So, I mean, it was a great audience, and I'm so happy that I was invited here. Um, First of all, because it was you whom I adore and I admire deeply, Uma. And of course, meeting all of you are such wonderful people with such great questions. And this is such a wonderful initiative. Like, it can help. Like even like Akib said that you guys, put each other on the spot and ask questions. That is such a lovely thing. I wish I knew about this before I would have joined. This is lovely.
We will have one exclusive table topic session, and I would love if you could participate that day.
Oh, I would love. It's an amazing initiative. Can I ask one or two questions about
Yeah.
Toastmasters, if possible?
Definitely, definitely.
How
We
did
have-
this all start? Like, who started this, and what are the, what are the milestones, and how do you reach out to people? I want to know more about it. If you have some time.
Yes, yes, please. Akib, my friend, do you want to take it?
Yep. So it all started in, I believe, 1924. There was a person called Ralph C. Smedley. He saw that people raise toast in a lot of events, and it was somewhere near California. But he realized that a lot of people miss the skill set which is needed to raise the toast. So it's a custom during the events wherein people raise toast and talk some good things about it. And that's where it all started slowly and gradually, that he thought we should build a community wherein people come together and express themselves. During that process, nobody should judge. So we should have a conducive atmosphere. That was the thought. And slowly and gradually, I think it took 5 to 10 years to build uh, first few clubs, and then it spread all over the world. Now every big organization has their own Toastmasters club. Almost every city has community clubs. So there are 2 3 kind of clubs. So one is community, wherein people like us, different walks of life. So Govind is a software employee. I'm in supply chain consulting, and uh, Priya is in modeling, and we have Uma. She is a professor. So people from different walks of life, they find something in the nearby uh, places, and they find a club. So if you go to Toastmaster website, find club near me, you'll find a lot of options, especially in Mumbai, Bangalore, big cities. That is community. And then we have a gavel club, which is for less than 18 years old kids. And then we have uh, company clubs or professional clubs, wherein company like Apple, Google, Microsoft, they all have a club within their premises, so that people are able to express themselves. So that is the idea. Then you have a club in colleges, wherein students who are not able to express themselves, who are not able to talk, they come together, sit and discover. So what happens in a meeting? I'll just take this moment to
Yes.
tell you how meeting happens as well. So it's 1.5 hour or 2 hours meeting a week, wherein first section is about prepared speeches. So somebody like me will prepare for a speech, proper speech of 5 to 7 minutes, comes on stage and delivers it. Then in second section, those impromptu things which I had prepared, I could not do today, wherein we'll give table topics. They're called table topics. It's a Toastmaster branding, but it's basically impromptu speaking. I give a topic and 1 to 2 minutes time to you, and then you will think immediately and respond. And the last section is evaluation, wherein evaluators will be evaluating the speeches given and how the role players. So there will be a host like Uma is, and I'm somebody who is conducting table topic session. So host, role players, you have timers, there are people who look at grammar, there are people who look at R counter. They all come together in the last, and they give a report saying, guys, you use these amazing words, you have used this phrase which is really nice, and you are using a lot of arms, crutch words you should not do. And then there'll be evaluator who will say, your speech is right, but you don't have structure in your speech. So a lot of things happen in evaluation. All during this session, nobody judges others. So it's more of conducive atmosphere. Everybody is here to help each other. So peer-to-peer learning platform. And there is a software tool built up in the system for Toastmasters, wherein each and every model is designed. So you take a pathway which you want to work on, and through that pathway, you will find ways on how you should attempt your next speeches. So very structured approach to public communication and leadership. So
Wow,
you are all welcome to join our next meetings if you have time. Of course, you'll be busy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful initiative. I mean, it is so good, and it's all about expressing, and that's what my platform project is about. Also about expressing through writing. And here you all are speaking. I think it's, and especially the one that you said, which was for students below 18, where they can't express. I wish I had known about it when I was a student. I would have for sure joined it because it can really help. You talk, you find people who are like-minded, and the one beautiful thing that you said was that there is no judgment. I think that is something that we are all looking for. We all want that because everywhere we judge ourselves most harshly. We are judged by others, by society. So I think it's a wonderful place where you're not judged, but you're encouraged. I think that is beautiful. I'm so sorry that your speech today, you couldn't give your speech today. So
I didn't have speech, but I was expected to conduct that session of table topics. I had really made some good slides so that I come out as a winner. But sadly, but next meeting I would request.
Definitely, definitely. Akib, I could not have said it better myself. It is always good to have experienced Toastmasters in the club. Thank you so much for covering this up for Priya most beautifully. He summed up our weekly activity, what we do every week. There are speakers, there are people who pick up impromptu speeches in that 20 minutes, 25 minutes of time. And then we have evaluators who evaluate from the nitty gritties to the major context of the entire speech. Every week we be together to improve ourselves, to better what is already good. And like he said, no judgments at all. We all learn from each other. This is more of a group learning. And yeah, I would like Priya to join one regular meet where you can get a hang of what
yes,
usually happens in Toastmasters.
yes, I would love to do that.
Yes, and that day probably you can be our Toastmaster of the day where you can talk about Heal Through Words project, and Akib will talk about the table topic session. We have two major roles sorted, and we can have someone else pick up the other roles, and we should really plan this session. Priya, whichever
Yes,
Saturday you are free from 6 to 7:30, please tell us.
I'll let you
We
know.
will.
Yes. Well, I would love to join and just observe a regular session because it's something, I think this is a wonderful initiative. It's beautiful.
Excellent, excellent. I'm sure you would love it because as much as I've known you, this is something this suits us, our place.
Yes.
Okay. As a president, I am extremely honored to be here welcoming and hosting my friend, Mrs. India Queen of the World, Priya Saggi. You are one incredible and remarkable woman people will always take notice of in whichever room you are in. It's not just that you beautiful. I've told her like this a dozen times. It doesn't matter you beautiful. It doesn't matter you are appealing. It doesn't matter you are 100 different things. What catches anyone's heart, what touches anyone's soul is that she's an extremely kind and nice woman. People don't remember what they said or what they what they had, but people will always remember what they did. And I can only say one thing. God has blessed you with beauty. That is your blessing. But you have blessed everybody around with a good heart that you've had. Thank you so much, Priya.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
and I cannot conclude this session without telling this out because I did not tell this to anybody, but I always wanted to. In for our finale, we were traveling to Delhi from Jaipur in a bus. So Priya and I were sitting front and back in the bus seats. We were talking. And then she said, two of us could be holding hands for the top one and two, where they will announce the winner and the first runner up. That confidence that she had in me that I could be beside her. I am worthy of standing beside her to be chosen as one of the probable winners. I don't think many people will even say that because they might be sentimental that this may come true, or they might be insecure to appreciate someone else. But Priya did that to me, what I think no beauty queen, no beauty pageant aspirant would have done. Thank you so much. You're my favorite, absolute favorite. And Priya is also a friend of mine in the shortest span of time.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
shortest
A
span of
week.
time. Yes. In just 6 days of a journey, I think I'm looking at her, anybody gets intimidated because, like, all those qualities that are beneath her kindness, but they are still there, people get intimidated. But then talking to her, I felt like, okay, this one is not what she seems through our online sessions. This one is not what she is from behind the screen. She's just like me. Could vibe together. Thank you
Yes.
so much for all the kindness and goodness, Priya.
Thank you.
You have anything to say about what we did today, what you feel, how you felt?
I absolutely feel honored to be invited here by my friend and by such an amazing gathering of people. I'm very impressed by this group, by this, this initiative, by this entire thing. I mean, I'm surprised why didn't I know about this? This is beautiful. And I loved being here. I love speaking. I love speaking about myself, my writing. And I'm just grateful. I'm very grateful that I got a chance to come here. I'm very grateful that you are my friend, that I got to meet you, and we'll continue our messages and our mutual self-admiration through our messages. But thank you so much. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for calling me here and for letting me speak and giving me a chance to speak. Thank you.
Absolutely, our pleasure, our honor, and big round of applause for you, Priya. Had we been in a physical meet, we would have given you a standing ovation. But people cheat if I ask them to give you a standing ovation. They would just do this. They would just flip the laptops or phones and straighten their bodies. That's a trick we have learned over the period of time for online meetings. That how we do standing ovations is this. That will speed up. Okay.
Nice.
Appreciation on behalf of all of us as our president. But before even that, we cannot let you leave without a parting certificate from all of us. Akib, if you could please share.
Give me a moment.
Yes. I will personally have it mailed to you, Priya, after this meeting is
Yes.
over. This is
I
so
have
that.
I have it ready. I'll just share my screen if it's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mrs. India, Queen of the World, Priya Saggi, Coastline Toastmasters Club is very grateful and appreciates you for your presence here and for sharing your journey, experiences, and insights. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and for being a part of us today. We look forward to many such meetings in future as well, where you could come here and we can collaborate and do many more inspiring things.
Wow, this is beautiful. Has this been also made by Govind?
This is made by Akib just
Oh, wow.
10 minutes ago while we were talking.
Wow. Okay, you all are very talented. This is beautiful. Thank
This
you
was-
so much for this lovely certificate.
Yeah, congratulations.
So I was recently appointed as vice president of PR. So I was not familiar with this to make it quickly. So Akib pitched in the last moment. So special
It's lovely.
shout out.
It's lovely. It's lovely. I'm looking forward to getting it in my mail, and then I can take a printout and just put it in my room and frame it. I love such beautiful certificates.
She would do that. I guarantee it. And
Yes.
definitely you will get it very soon.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much once again, Priya. It doesn't feel nice to say bye to you anytime, but since we've already overshot by half an hour at least, for the convenience of time and for the convenience of all our guests, I will call it a night.
Thank you.
Govind, please play our Sergeant at Arms also for today. Thank you so much once again, Priya. We really
you.
and thoroughly enjoyed your presence here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Govind.
Yeah. By the power vested at me as Surgeon at Arms, I now conclude this meeting and stop the recording.